This is the Pythonic Accountant, and today we're going to take a look at some fun we can have with using both the advanced data analysis as well as some custom instructions. So for custom instructions with GPT-4, you click on this, and you can basically tell ChatGPT a couple of things. First, you can tell it about yourself. So I'm going to pretend I'm a bookkeeper doing accounting work for a government organization. And then I tell it how I would like ChatGPT to respond. I want it to call me Mr. Accountant, and you'll be an AI CPA who knows a lot about GAAP, and you'll provide formal, articulate, organized answers. And if you don't have enough confidence in the answer, ask me for clarifying information. So awesome. So let's, for fun, let's actually create a mock trial balance. And then we can ask it to help us record some journal entries, and we'll see how well it does. In the past, it's been like mediocre, so maybe giving it this prompt will probably be a little bit better. Let's see. So let's create a mock trial balance for a government agency called the Department of Rickrolling. All right, called me Mr. Accountant. That's fantastic. Below is a mock trial balance for the Department of Rickrolling. And let's see. I've included some key accounts typically found in governmental organizations adhering to GAAP. That's great. Okay, so we have cash. We've got accounts receivable, prepaid, buildings, equipment, accumulated depreciation, and that makes sense. We've got accounts payable, salaries payable, unearned revenue. Okay, I guess we've got some revenues here. Bonds payable. Cool. Let's see. I'm curious. What is the revenue from? And actually, there's actually no revenue here. We just have unearned revenue. This looks like it's the balance sheet without actually having any of the revenues and expenses. Where are the revenues and expenses? That GB looks like it's just a balance sheet. Let's see what it says. Oh, you're correct. I only provided the balance sheet trial balance. So let's add some of the revenues and expenses. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to ask it a question. I'm curious what makes up the operating revenues and grants revenues. Give me some more details about what the revenues are from. I'm interested in the kind of breakdown of sources and types of revenues. This is just kind of fun. I want the backstory that it's going to give us. If it gives us a backstory. Okay. User fees, revenues from licenses and permits, fines and penalties. So I'm curious now what kinds of services are associated with the agency. So this is for the Department of Rickrolling. Tell me what the mission of this agency is and what the specific, let's see, user fees are and how they relate to Rickrolling. This is just like totally for fun. I'm just curious if it's going to come up with like a backstory. So of course, now it's coming up with a backstory around, oh yes, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so the Department of Rickrolling is a government agency dedicated to promotion, regulation, and standardization of the art of Rickrolling. And if you don't know what that is, please look it up. And so now it's giving us the breakdown of user fees. So we've got $200,000 in Rickroll licensing fees, which allow you to obtain a license to legally Rickroll. Then you have Rickroll event fees, Rickroll educational program fees, Rickroll merchandise sales. This is amazing. This is excellent. Okay. Well, let's actually get it to do some accounting for us. Yes, please provide a few year-end journal entries needed to record accruals of estimates related to unearned, maybe unbilled but earned Rickrolling fees and event fees. Let's just see how good it is at kind of coming up with true kind of GAAP-based accounting. And okay, so let's see what it says. Below the journal entries, we are assuming that there are unbilled and earned licensees fees of $20,000, unbilled but earned Rickroll event fees of $10,000. So as of the end of the year, we're going to do AR of debit accounts receivable and credit operating revenues. That makes sense. Cool. Looks like they did a pretty good job of doing the accounting. So let's see if it can actually update the trial balance. And please use Python to update the trial balance based on these journal entries. I want to see columns with before, the entries, and post entries. So I'm hoping that what this will do is actually understand that I want it to create the initial trial balance and then add a column that just includes the entries associated with what it gave me above, and then updated kind of final trial balance. If it can do that, I will be pretty impressed, because that kind of is the typical type of reconciliation I would, create if I was performing recording these entries. It also helps with that reconciliation of the entries to the pre and post trial balance. So let's see if it's able to do it correctly. So certainly, Mr. Accountant, below is the updated trial balance. And so what it did was it used, okay, cool, debits before, credits before, debit, credit entries, debits before, after, and after. I'm going to actually see if I can, let's see, that looks right. I'm going to see if I can have it just be 3 columns instead, because it is sort of hard to see the separated debit and credit columns. So I'm going to say, please consolidate the debit and credit columns into one column for each trial balance, i.e. debit minus credit equals net column. And there should be 3 columns. Let's see if it's able to do this, because that would be a little bit nicer to be able to see it and check the numbers. And let's see if it's able to do it. So we've got net before, net entries, and net after. And oh, this is looking beautiful. Looks like we've got success here. So you've got AR that increased by 30. And then we should see operating expenses or operating revenues increased by 30. So that's perfect. All right. Well, there you have it. This was a fun little experiment on using the GPT-4, both the code interpreter, now called advanced data analysis, and then using those custom instructions. I think this did pretty good. We can definitely push this one a little bit further to see how far we can take it, but I'm happy with what we got so far. Well, if you like this, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.